Happy December. I'm not sure what time of the month you'll be listening to this, but please make sure it's December. This is the time that everyone would know their real true self and their discipline about money. You would agree with me that this is one season when everyone wants to go on shopping spree and of course buy their best outfit or some other things that you used to celebrate the season, let me put it that way. Hi, my name is Omo and this is the child in me. Do remember to click on the follow button, subscribe to my channel. You can listen to this podcast on any platform, Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcast, and so much more. Just check for it. Type The Child in Me by Omo. You'll find it there. And I appreciate you for being here actually. I do not take it for granted. As I've said before, this is the season where you will know your real attitude towards money. Either you'll be saving or you'll be spending a lot, going on shopping spree, those holiday time. Wait, true. I'm not trying to teach you how to spend your money. I will never do that. I believe you're adults. Spend your money, you've worked for it, but relax. Take a chill pill a bit. Sit back and think about it. It's December. First of all, this December has 7 Fridays in it. Think. Are you thinking? Should I still give you more gist? Oh, sorry, it's 5, not 7. It also has 5 weekends. That's like 125 days in a month. You've got dependents, or maybe you don't even have dependents. But remember, January has 1,000 days. I'm only reminding you of the obvious. I know you know what you're doing. I realize, yes, you know all this. So, Omo, why are you telling us the obvious? Sorry, I'm not trying to tell you how to spend your money. I've said that before. I'm only stating the obvious. I'm speaking to myself as well. Because, we gotta show off. And this is it. But wait. Woza. Come close. Yeah, meanwhile, it's a wrap up. And the most of my listeners are here in South Africa. And I appreciate that a lot. So I'll be infusing little of these South African languages into my podcast. Yay! I'm excited about that, the journey. Remember, Christmas season is not your birthday. And even if it's your birthday, auntie and uncle, relax on the spending. We are adults. Okay, I would like to tell you a short story that's happening. And I want to also use that opportunity to invite you to my church Christmas carol happening on the 3rd of December. You know why we fixed our Christmas carol on the 3rd of December? It's because most of the people travel and we still want them to have the feeling of that Christmas carol, to have the feeling of what the season is all about. So I'm also seizing this opportunity to invite you to my church. If you're in South Africa, if you're in Pretoria, if you're in Gauteng, I'm inviting you to our church. It's on Struben Street, 383 Struben Street, Pretoria Central. You're invited and you can bring someone along as well. I'll tell you a short story meanwhile. So we'll see what people are doing. It's actually reality in a short drama. And I hope you sit back and listen to the story because it is wowza. It's just a story that should remind us about the reason, the true reason for this season, if you're one who celebrates Christmas. Okay, this story reveals 2 families with their friends, one a believer and the other one a normal, churchgoer, religious people. They're both excited about Christmas and, they're happy that Christmas is coming because it was just 2 days to Christmas and everyone is busy preparing in excitement. Both families set out to outdo the other, getting new clothes, shoes, bags, the hairdo, nails, and buying brand new cars just to prove a point. It's the end of the year. You need to know that I've earned my extra. You understand? So they were buying all sorts of things. The other one was also trying to outshine the later one. They hire service of a chef to impress. You can hire me, Chef Omo, turn up kitchen for your event. Let me chip that in. So a day to Christmas, there were agitations everywhere, and people are under pressure to finalize their shopping, making sure their clothes are ready. Shoppers are going, ew, fighting for who gets service first, and there was roadblocks everywhere. The traffic. And during that period, these two neighbors that were trying to outshine themselves got into a fight in the marketplace, causing each other. The reason is they were trying to buy the last piece of something that their partners requested. So they got into a fight at the marketplace because of this, and people gathered around them. And okay, let me just cut the long story short. They were arrested by the police. When they got to the cell, their wife were informed that their husbands have been arrested and kept in a cell. The wife started blaming each other, that your husband is a troublesome one. Of course, one is a true believer and the other is just a churchgoer. Doesn't really get the Christ thing overly. They started fighting. Remember, they're religious people. Just all of a sudden, they forgot about the reason for the season and started fighting for material things. They forgot completely about the reason for the season and burst into a fight, which is not supposed to be so. So the wife also started fighting. Also in the prison, their husbands were also fighting. Remember, it's a day to Christmas. Who wants to spend Christmas in jail? You might say, this is just a fallacy, just a story, make-up story and everything. These kind of things happen. My data is depleted. It's a drama that is going to be played out in my church on Christmas Carol Day, and I'll encourage you to come so you can get the drift. You can watch till the end and see what happens to both families on Christmas Day or the night before Christmas. That's my own suspense to you. I don't know if that will really work, but it should work. So you need to come to my church. If you find yourself in Pretoria or in Gauteng, come to my church. Like I said, the address is 383 Strupen Street, Pretoria Central. You can put that into your Google map and check how far it is from you. You are invited to my church. This is my own special invitation to Glory Christian Center. We can make Christmas about ourselves. Christ is a reason for the season, and we shouldn't forget about that while doing our own things. We're adults. We know the right thing to do. And here is one right thing I'm chipping in today. I hope you've been able to pick one or two things from this particular podcast. And thank you, South Africa, for listening to my podcast. I really appreciate you. You're the top of my list because when Spotify released the wrap up for the year, South Africans were my favorite listeners. And I'll tell you, that's the drift. Other countries can do better, yeah. We still have more years to go. And I've been so encouraged because I can see I am on the top one of few fans and my followers are increasing, and I so appreciate this. And like I said before, there's going to be a giveaway on this podcast platform. You need to stay glued. You should be one of my followers and stick to this podcast. Give me a thumbs up, send me a feedback. There's always a space to send feedbacks. I always post polls also. You can just reply to the polls or give me feedbacks. And this podcast is also not an English lesson or English class. So we want to be free. We want to freestyle ourselves. So when you find yourself on this podcast, do not get worried about your big English, or maybe you're not so good at it and you feel that will be a barrier. It is not a barrier. This is a place where you speak out your mind without being judged. I appreciate you. And thank you for listening to this episode again. I am Omo, and I am your favorite host. This is the child in me. Ciao.